You don't have to be Pakistani or Bangladeshi or Indian or Afghani. Cricket and sports are for everybody.
I actually play for Metro Toledo Cricket Club myself. It's a great sport. You know, it's something that you can do your whole life.
Welcome to American Cricket TV. My name is Anil Shankarmanchi.
And this is episode 1, and I'm Richard Ray. We should probably explain how we got here, who we are.
Oh, yeah.
So let me begin. Anil and I shot a commercial together a couple of years ago and became friends. And about 6 weeks ago, he came to me and he said he had an idea for this show about cricket in the American. Well, explain the vision on what this show's about.
So I grew up around cricket culture, and it's a huge popular sport around the world. But whenever I came to America, a whole plethora of sports to enjoy, yet cricket was nowhere to be found. And so when I saw cricket emerging with everybody from around the world coming to America for the opportunity, the American dream, we brought cricket with us. When I wanted to find a cricket podcast or a TV show to talk about it, we didn't exactly have one. I was like, guess we'll make it.
I've seen the vision too, and I think this is a perfect time to start a show like this because it's a big moment for cricket in the U.S. For the first time, the Cricket World Cup, the new version T20, has come to America. In fact, all of group stage games are being played on American soil. And so it's a perfect time to start with this. In fact, the very first game in the whole World Cup was at Grand Prairie Stadium. I think we've got a shot of that we're going to pull up right here. Grand Prairie Stadium is one of really only a handful of cricket-worthy stadiums in the United States, and 4 of the games are going to be played here. But the very first one was Canada versus the USA on June 1st, and I got to watch my first cricket match.
How was that?
It was exciting. In fact, we're going to show you some of that.
Since cricket is back in Texas, I'm happy. I feel I am at home.
First time.
Awesome. How do you like it?
It's great. Yeah, buzzing atmosphere.
Okay.
I'm Nick. I'm from India, but I love the USA. I love cricket in the USA. I'm going to come for every game, and it's great to see this game over here. Beautiful country, beautiful game. Love it.
Well, one day we had a lot of downtime at work, and so my buddy pulls up ESPN, and we're trying to figure out what's on at 9 a.m. sports-wise. And the Indian Premier League was playing, and we decided to go ahead and watch that. No knowledge of cricket. And then after that, it just kind of became a thing where it's on at 9 a.m. We had nothing on at work, and we just started digging into the rules and found out about it, and it's been 100% ever since then.
We're talking one day, and he starts talking about cricket. I'm thinking, you know, I'm an Anglophile. I got family in England, and they're not big cricket fans. I hear them kind of bad talk cricket. So I'm a little bit of a contrarian and decided that I wanted to get into it. And, well, I proved them wrong, at least to myself, because I'm obsessed now. It's the best sport there is.
Truly an historic night, the first Cricket World Cup game on U.S. soil in Grand Prairie, Texas, on what turned out to be a beautiful night.
I mean, I honestly know nothing about it, only from what they told me. It's similar to baseball. I guess they told me it's the first pro-American team, so which must be a big deal. Today's the opening. They offered me a ticket. I said, sure, why not? I'll go show my support, see what's going on.
At home, my wife kind of rolls her eyes at me when it's on, but it's going to be on.
No, I grew up in India, but we moved here. We play cricket over there, and we enjoying it.
And you still play cricket?
If I get opportunity, yes.
We're hosting the World Cup for the first time. This is awesome. Cricket's definitely growing.
We really wish we could show you more of the game footage. Unfortunately, the ICC does regulate how much of the game we show.
But it was an exciting game, a really exciting game. In fact, Canada had a pretty good lead, and it looked bad for the U.S., but then a guy named Aaron Jones, who's a great player, obviously came in and started hitting bombs. Sixes are the 6 runs, right, equivalent of a home run in baseball, and the USA came back and won. It was really an exciting game. I do have one little fact I want to toss at Anil, who knows cricket a lot better than I do, but the first international game ever played, Canada versus the U.S., 180 years ago.
Oh, man.
1844.
Well, who won that night?
Canada did. So we got a little revenge.
Revenge.
Got a little revenge.
Excellent. I want to hear more about the lineup that we have here today. Let's call in our resident analyst, Mr. Ravi.
Come on down, Ravi. There you go.
Hi, Richard.
Okay, it's group stage play just like you have in World Cup soccer, where you start out with 20 teams. So let's talk about each one of these groups, Robbie, and you give us kind of a rundown on Group A: India, Pakistan, Ireland, Canada, and USA. That sounds like a pretty tough group to come out of. Who wins it? Who comes out of there? 2 teams.
I think it's a no-brainer, India and Pakistan, especially for the amount of cricket that they play and the number of trophies that they've won. It's a no-brainer. But then, if there's a third place, maybe I would give it to the United States.
Yeah, well, hey, I'd love to see them move forward as well.
And what do we got there? Group
B will be England, Australia, Namibia, Scotland, and Oman.
Oh, God. It's England and Australia, for sure.
100%.
Because Namibia, Scotland, and I don't remember when was the last time they even played an international tournament, like probably 3-4 years back.
Okay, Group C looks pretty tough too. New Zealand, West Indies, Afghanistan, Uganda, New Guinea.
Can I pick one?
Yeah. You want to pick one?
Yeah, because New Zealand obviously is going to make it.
Right.
West Indies and Afghanistan. I think they have an awesome team, especially for the fact that West Indies got like literally all the 11 players in the team can whack the ball out of the park. So they are also favorites, but that doesn't mean Afghanistan is nothing less. Like, they've got players who played in IPL.
Yeah, I favor Afghanistan because on paper, West Indies has better stats per player, but I feel like Afghanistan has more to prove. There's a chip on that shoulder, and there's definitely more grit there. So just for cinematic purposes, I'll say Afghanistan for sure.
Okay. Let's agree to disagree then.
Okay, let's talk about Group D then. That last one: South Africa, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Netherlands, Nepal.
Oh, God. This is actually a tough group because South Africa, for sure, it's a no-brainer. Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, it's tricky. I definitely want to wait until they play here in Dallas to pick the team, but let me do Sri Lanka.
Good.
What do you think, Anil?
Oh,
Who do you
man. I'm going to go Bangladesh.
He's always opposing my thought.
Hey, listen. I really like having the growing cultures really do well. So I'm always going to vote on everybody who's new to the game because they have something to prove. Bangladesh, though they've been playing many, many years, I really want to see them take a swing this year and really claim some ground in the game.
Okay, let's
move on to the next stage is the Super 8.
Yes.
In fact, we've got a graphic we're going to show on that because all the group stage games are being played on American soil. You've got 4 of them played here in Grand Prairie, some in the New York, New Jersey area, others in Florida. And then when they move on to the Super 8, it's all in the West Indies. Originally, I guess the West Indies, in fact, was where World Cup was going to be. Is that correct? And the United States, kind of a latecomer in this? Explain that, Ravi.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that Paris Olympics is starting, and the next Olympics is in the United States, and cricket is a part of it, especially the T20 format. And it is for that reason, I think US decided to join hands with the Caribbeans to promote the sport here. And again, to Anil's point, we brought the sport here, and we want to make sure we introduce this to all the Americans.
As you saw, the finals in Barbados on the 29th. Okay, both of you guys, who's going to be in the final?
India. India for sure. That's just easy pick.
Honestly, out of my heart, it's India versus Pakistan. Just because United States can really understand how competitive this sport can really get. But if I think with my brain, probably it's India, Australia.
We'll see. In fact, the India-Pakistan game on June 9th is going to be a war. We'll talk more about that later, too.
Certainly.
In fact, when we come back, we're going to take a shot at Rich explaining, this could be interesting. Me, a guy who grew up playing baseball, still plays baseball, is going to try to explain cricket for Americans. So stick around. We're going to take about a 15-second break. AmeriCricket TV has breaking news from Grand Prairie, where the USA cricket team has shocked Pakistan at the T20 World Cup. A major upset as the Americans defeat one of the cricket powerhouse teams. the second straight victory in Group A for Team USA after a 7-wicket win over Canada in the opening match. Amazingly, the upstart Americans could be poised to advance to the second round Super 8 competition beginning June 19th.
Welcome back to AmeriCricket, where we cover everything cricket on this shore.
Obviously, Anil's a huge fan of cricket. He grew up playing cricket, at least being a fan of it, knows a lot more about it. I mean, it's kind of in the blood for your family, right?
Absolutely. Every year, my father would bring all of his friends, all the uncles in the community would show up in the house. It would always happen to play during 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when it would stream. They'd all be screaming like every passionate fan would. That means I never got any sleep during those types of nights, but the culture was certainly part of it in the house.
Well, I have never really knew anything about cricket until about 6 weeks ago, but I did look into it. And surprisingly, I think people are going to find it. So it is a bat ball game, and it's a lot like baseball. And to understand the basics of the rules is pretty simple, but here I take a crack at explaining it. The game of cricket has been played for centuries. Its first international match was played almost 200 years ago in 1844. Back then it was a 5-day affair called a test. In recent years, the game has been pared down considerably, and the vibrant, made-for-TV game that enthralls billions around the globe today, called a T20, takes about 3 hours. When you get to know cricket, you find it's a lot like baseball. A sort of long-ago ancestor of the great American pastime. In both games, balls are tossed with speed and movement. Batters swing, sometimes hit, and sometimes hit it out of the park. Also sometimes miss and make outs. And games are won by the team that scores the most runs.
Here they are making outs and scoring runs in the North Texas Cricket Association. This is 15 and under league. They play on Saturday mornings. There's also an adult division. They play on Sundays. It's not a fancy field, but it's cricket.
Here's the basics. 2 teams with 11 players on each side. Play starts with a bowler tossing balls at 90 miles an hour. The batter attempts to strike the ball and score runs. The cricket field is an oval. Balls can be hit in any direction. In the middle of the oval is the pitch, with wickets on each end, 3 wooden stumps supporting 2 bails. The batting team has 2 players at a time. The opposition has its 11 players spread around the field trying to catch struck balls. Runs are scored in 2 ways. First, the batter hits the ball far enough that it crosses the outer boundary. A bounced ball is worth 4 runs. If it clears the boundary on the fly or the full, it's worth 6 runs. 2, if the ball is struck and not caught in the air, the 2 batters sprint for the opposite wicket, scoring 1 run each time that happens. There are 11 different ways a batter can be out. The most common is bowled, the equivalent of a strikeout in baseball. The bowler throws and the batter misses or deflects the ball, allowing it to hit the wicket and knock off the bails.
Take a start.
Outs are also made when a batter hits the ball but it's caught before it hits the ground. Leg before wicket, or LBW, is also an out. The bowler bowls, the batter misses, the ball strikes his leg in line with the stumps. He's out. A run out occurs when the batter hits the ball, but a fielder retrieves it and throws it to the stumps before either batter has reached them. Once a batter is out, another teammate replaces him. Once all the batters on the team are out, the teams swap places. The winning side is the team with the most runs, once both teams have batted around. A quick addendum now. The T20 game that they're playing now is a shortened version. They have what are called every 6 bowls is an over.
Yes.
Each team gets 20 overs, so that's about 120. I'm not good at math, but 120 bowls. And then the team, again, that has the most runs at the end of it. That's a simple explanation to a complex sport, but then baseball, again, has complexities too. I mean, but they call it laws, right? Not rules.
Right.
And I'm sure even do you understand all the complexities?
Not at all. There's so many different layers and complexities. And I believe even Netflix had a small little bit about this, that there's so many different ways and so many different rules regarding the sport that it's so complex to get in a very short time span. However, at the core of bat and ball sport, there's a bat, a ball, players, and a scoreboard. So
you don't have to, in baseball, for example, you don't have to understand all the rules, what constitutes a balk by a pitcher. I don't even know that, and I've been playing it for 60 years. So, I mean, the same kind of thing. Once you know the basics, it's a pretty simple game, and it's fun to watch.
Absolutely. I think just racking up points on a scoreboard is really where the thrill is, the adrenaline rush of just making your team champion into the next round. That's really where it is.
We're not done. We're going to take one more 15-second break, and then we're going to have some more about how popular this sport really is around the world. It may surprise you.
When I went to the Pakistan versus India, that's bigger than the Super Bowl. More viewers than the Super Bowl in the world.
Really?
Pakistan versus India.
Soccer?
No, cricket.
Really?
Bigger than the Super Bowl. More viewers than the Super Bowl.
What?
Yes, Pakistan versus India.
ICC reveals astonishing 2019 Cricket World Cup viewership. 225 million people watched it. 200 million on TV and 25 million on OTT.
The biggest cricket player in the world, Kohli, I think his name is Kohli, Koli, cricket. Look how many followers he got compared to LeBron.
Okay, let me guess. I'm gonna say
Kohli,
95 million.
Okay, let's go.
Cricket.
Go to his Instagram. Kohli.
What's that?
Here we go.
214 million.
Now, what does LeBron got?
214 million.
We're King James.
No, that ain't real. That ain't real.
That's King James. There you go. There it is.
That's it.
Got more than LeBron.
132 million is nothing to sneeze at.
I know.
Second most popular sport in the world after soccer.
Absolutely.
I know people in the United States, they're starting to become aware of cricket. If you live in Dallas-Fort Worth, you see people playing cricket.
Absolutely.
South Asian population is coming here, growing faster here than anywhere else in the country, and they are bringing cricket culture with them.
Absolutely. When we first came to the country, we came in for the American dream. And obviously, when we wanted to bond with our neighbors, it was always, did you watch the game last night?
Yeah.
And there was football, baseball, basketball. And now we certainly get cricket in that mix.
I think there's a pretty good argument to be made that it is growing. And talk a little bit more, Neil, about what we hope to do in the future with this show, because we really want it to be viewer-driven. We want your help in growing this show.
Certainly. We'd like to be able to cover international news, like ICC games, national games, like MLC, regional games, like the ones here in Texas, and the local games, where everyone who's just now getting into the sport is finding their love of it. And the biggest component of all that happens to be the viewers. So if you have an amazing video, or maybe you have some questions, reach out to us at contact@americricket.tv.
Yeah, we do want this to be viewer-driven, so let us know what you want to see.
And we're going to need you to like, subscribe, and share.
Like, subscribe, and share. We're going to build this thing.
For sure.
For American Cricket TV, I'm Richard Ray.
And I'm Anil Shankramanchi.
We'll see you next time.